the first thing we're going to do is to install Java. So I just forgot to mention that we're going to need Java JDK 8. So I'm going to directly just share the terminal. So I'm just going to fire up my terminal and go full screen mode. And for us to get this very well, so we're going to run sudo apt-get update to make sure that we are running on our latest update. So the next thing you would want to do is install the JDK. So I'm just going to bring back my command. So we have sudo apt install OpenJDK 8 then JDK. So I would really recommend that you type most of these commands instead of copying them. So you just click on yes. So remember, this is the command that we are running on sudo apt install. So don't worry if you are new to Linux, so you just get used to it. Personally, myself, I was still new to this kind of thing, so it's going to take some time. So as it does that, I'm going to while we will be doing all these processes, so we're going to because you're not going to wait for the terminal to just run all these things. So we're going to create one patient, and then we're going to flow. So we're going to use the online server. Then once our local installations is done, then we are going to now run through the installation. We register the OPD. So we're going to get along with these terms. Yeah, so once that is done, so just allow me to just clear up my screen. Okay, so it seems we have a package problem, but we'll just fix that as we continue. But for use from your side, it should be able to actually work very fine. So I think I might have done some different installation and reinstallation. So just run again. So once you are done with that, so we're going to run our command. The next command will be sudo apt update, and let me just update to solve those broken packages. So sudo apt upgrade. All right, so I think we are done from that side. So we can now check for a Java version. So we're going to say Java version. Okay, wait. So single hyphen. You can now see that we are running on JDK 1.8. So that is done. So as simple as that, we are done in installation of Java 8. So the next thing we want to do is, I know most of us might have maybe had Tomcat already installed. So the next thing is installing Tomcat. So the next thing is I want you to remove that Tomcat if you had already installed. So then let's assume that you are running, for those who are running on version 17, so we are now not supporting version 6 of Tomcat. So we are working with an upgrade to Tomcat 9. So we're going to directly remove that. So if you have already that, or you can install multiple if you really like to. So I'm going to say sudo service Tomcat 6 stop. So the first thing you would want to do is to stop Tomcat. So that is if you have. So it's from my end, because it's a new installations, I don't have Tomcat installed. So if you have Tomcat installed, it's going to stop Tomcat 6 install. So the next thing we want to do is sudo apt get, then auto remove. So auto remove will remove those packages automatically that are hidden or elsewhere. So to remove them, so we're going to add a purge, then Tomcat 6. So unable to remove because I don't have any packages of this. So if you are redeploying or maybe just upgrading to a new one, you can use that. So I'm going to use my up key arrow to just do an update to make sure that up with everything. So sudo apt updates, you can see we don't have any broken package problems. So the next thing we want to do now is we want to install Tomcat 9, and that is very simple. So you're going to say sudo apt install Tomcat 9. as simple as that, and then you're going to press yes. So it's going to directly, depending on the speed of your laptop and the speed of your internet, it's going to directly pick up and install Tomcat 9. So once that is done, we want to also make sure that we have installed Tomcat 9 admin and also Tomcat 9 docs. So I'm just going to resolve that problem of mine that says I have a program package on the libdvs.css. So I know where the problem is, and I would just make sure that I've resolved that later on. So I'm going to clear that again, and then I'm going to pull up the command, the previous command, using the up arrow. So we had installed Tomcat 9. So now we want to install Tomcat 9 docs, and also we want to install Tomcat 9 examples. So I'm just going to paste these commands. So although I personally myself, I don't like doing that, but for those who would want to directly just paste the commands, then you should be able to work on your end. So for my end, I'm just going to press that one for the next thing of most importance for you to know that I've installed the Tomcat docs and the Tomcat examples and the Tomcat admins. So as simple as that. So we are done installing Tomcat 9. So you can just clear this and check to make sure that our Tomcat is running. So to actually do that, so you're going to say sudo service, or you can use sudo systemctl to check on your Tomcat status. So I'm going to say Tomcat 9 status. You can now see that we have our Tomcat up and running. So I'm just going to close this. I'm using the dog bark as my notification. So if you hear a dog barking, just know that I'm saved here. So I'm just going to clear this. Okay, the next thing is actually configuring this. So we would want to make sure that we are using the right RAM to execute this. So it's not really that much heavy, but with, if you have a machine that is running on 8 GB RAM minimum, then it should be able to run smooth. But you can still work with 4 GB, but make sure that you are running on an SSD and not HDD. So the next thing I would want to do is just edit the configurations. So sudo, I'll be using nano to edit all my commands. Tomcat 9, then we have server.xml. So if you press enter, you'll be presented with all of this. So this is just not magic, and it's not something complex. It's just a command I've run, and everything's there. So I would want to make you to actually pay close attention on this. So I'm going to paste below the commands. So with the connector, I'm going to share some little bit of additional code that I want you to write over here. So I'm just going to copy, and then you'll be able to receive this on the description. So I'm adding an HTTP connector, and then I'm also going to set my value to 200 and make sure that it runs as specified from my command. So I'm just going to bring this over here. So create some space, and then I'm using tabs because if not tabs, but I'm using space bar because if I use tabs, it's going to go past the lines that I want to actually. Okay, yes, I want to make sure that it's matching the existing code. So once I'm on this point, I want you to note something: the colors of this. And then also I want you to note something on this. This is labeled white, so meaning we have a mistake. And if you're very keen, you should have noted that the quotation marks being used here is different. So I'm just making sure that I use the right quote marks. You can now see that everything is working pretty fine. So again, I'm spotting an error here. We are closing all this before we are. Yeah, you can now see that everything is working fine. The same color and everything is working. Fine. So I want you to pay attention on the document that I'm going to send. The quotes are not really well specified over here. So make sure you have the right using the right closing quotes, otherwise it's going to give you a problem. So once that is done, I want you to actually close this. So you just hold on Control O and then press on Enter and then Control X. So by doing so, what I'm just doing is just saving the changes. So the next thing I would want you to do is, oh sorry, we forgot something here. So just use your up arrow to open up the same command. So I want you to scroll down to multipart config. So I want us to change something to make sure that we are operating on the same files. So scroll down and scroll down to multipart config. So it's over down. Where is it now? Oh, sorry, it's not inside. Just allow me to exit. It's not on this side, sorry. So it's usually on sudo. Okay. If you hear that backing sound, just know I'm safe. Okay, use share, then Tomcat 9, we have admin, and we have the manager, and then we have web, and then just use the web.exe. So this is where the multipart config is usually stored. So if I want, there's something I want you to scroll down to where there's multipart config. So it's all right, it's over here. So you can see that we are just below this, the 50 MB max. I want you to change this part to make sure that it's reflecting 200 MBs. So I want you to edit that. So instead of, so it should actually, let me just copy the commands. Let me just not the commands, but I want you to edit something here. I want you to replace the commands, the lines that are that in the documents. Sorry, goodness. Allow me to just repeat that. I'm just going to copy this. So I want you to copy the code that is in the document and replace it with this one. So while pasting, you use Control-Shift-V, and then you should be able to have these changes well. So make sure that the changes are matching, because if the changes are not really matching, then it's going to, did it really paste? Let me just confirm that. 209, no, it didn't paste. It didn't paste anything. So copy that and then bring your cursor to this point, and then just after that, I'm going this paste thing. I'm just going to paste that over there and make sure that it's running over here. And then I'm going to delete these two max lines. So once that is there, then you just remain with the threshold and that thing. So then Control O, Enter, Control X. So you can repeat the same command to just check to confirm that the changes have been made. So where is it over here? So you can see now that the changes are matching the changes that I pasted on the file. So you should be able to see those changes in your file. So the next thing from the document, let me just clear this again. I'm going to use Catalina. So Catalina is going to really help us, especially in getting to know where the system errors are. So the first thing I would want you to do is Catalina by default is located on Tomcat. So I'm just going to do sudo nano var lib, and then we have Tomcat 9, then the configurations, and then we have Catalina properties. So allow me to just do this again, Catalina.properties. So if I open this up, I want you to actually add the tail. So not really the tail, but at the end of your file, I want you to add a line that will be available for you on the chat. So again, so we have it's an Apache line. So at the end of the file, I want to scroll down till the end. So wow, this file is long. All right, so add some space, Control Shift V, and then Control O, enter, Control X. There are also other commands I want you to add on, still on Tomcat, but not now. The Catalina properties one. So I want you to add to Tomcat 9, and then your varlib, not the varlib actually. I want you to add to etc Tomcat 9. We have Tomcat 9 users.xml. So if you actually open this, I want you to scroll down and then add the following lines. So let me just close this. I think I'm adding up, should be on a new file, tomcat9.users. Yeah. So paste the commands that are there. Where is it now? Okay, over here. Copy them and then paste them over here. So I'm just going to drag this back to the normal line. So everything remains default. That's Tomcat GUI, that's the graphical UI. So under the password, I want you to place in your password for not password for Tomcat, but your password. So for my machine, I don't know what was my password now. Just place in your password. Once you are done, I want you to control, don't place the hashtag, but make sure you've placed in your admin password. So I'm going to directly, so once you're done, just Control O, enter, and Control X. Yeah, so the next thing is we're going to optimize Tomcat. So these commands are actually pretty straightforward. You can just directly open them. So for my case, I'm just going to directly to optimizing the Tomcat. So I want you to open Tomcat 9 again. So sudo, okay, nano, then we have etc default, then we have Tomcat 9. So if you click on that, so we're going to add some few lines here. So we're going to add our home directory. So for Java, so we're going to uncomment that. So Java home. So this is where our JDK is actually located. So you're going to make sure that you are actually placing in the right location of your Tomcat. So let me just show you how you're going to do that. So I'm going to open a new, is it tab or what? Yes, a new tab. Just click on the plus sign in your terminal, and then by default you can just do cd, not by default JDK will be located in users lib, then JVM, then press enter, then you can LL to show. So you can see that we have this JDK over here. So I'm just going to cd again into Java -1.8. You can see I now have this. So once I'm here, I can just print the working directory, and then I'm going to copy this command over here, this directory, sorry. So copy it and then return to your previous tab, and then just replace all this. Actually, just make sure you don't have any space. So we have now located our Java home. So the next thing we would want to do is to optimize the RAM. So the next thing is just copy the command on your document. So just come immediately after this, we have the Java LTS. So instead of just re-editing that, just leave that commented out and then just paste the command. Then make sure it has no space. So I think we are good to go. And then write out the changes, Control O, enter, Control X. Just to confirm that our Tomcat is still running, you can do sudo service tomcat9 status. Okay, so we are still up and running. Let me just remove that backing sound. Good. So we continue. I'm just going to clear this. So the next thing is we are now going to add into our installations, the direct installation. So I'm going to share some files. So the first thing you'd want to do is to set permissions for Tomcat 9. And by so doing, we're going to make a directory in our var lib. So I'm going to say sudo mkdiv make directory in var lib, and we're going to call it OpenMRS. Just copy the command and paste if you're not really, or if you might want, if you know that you might miss the spellings, so just directly use just the copy paste version. So we're going to change the ownership of this directory. So we're going to say sudo change ownership. So then we're going to change ownership to Tomcat, and then Tomcat over the var lib OpenMRS. So what this command is actually doing is changing the ownership. So this file for now is owned by root, but we want the file to be owned by Tomcat. So just do that and press enter. And then we are going to give the right privileges to the OpenMRS folder. So to do that, we're going to say sudo change change mode of the files to 755 of var lib OpenMRS. So let's just put an asterisk to make sure that we are changing everything in that file. So if we now cd to if you now cd to this file var lib, then caps O OpenMRS and LL, you can now see that this file is being owned by not root but by Tomcat. So if you can go back a little bit and then list this, and then try to look for OpenMRS. Where is it? ABCD alphabeticals. Okay, where is this file? Over here. You can now see that it's owned by Tomcat, and other files are being owned by root. So we are doing this to make sure that while we installing the system, we are able to run everything. Right. So let me just clear my screen again. So the next thing is we want to redirect all our, not errors, but all our output. So just in case we want to check the errors, remember that I said for you to check your errors, you're going to use Catalina. So we are going to edit. So I'm just going to copy this file, this command here. So I want you to add to tomcat9.service. So we're just going to paste this command. Okay, let me just, it happened like magic. Let me just type the command. We are going to have sudo nanolib, then we have we have system, then tomcat9.service. This is the file I wanted to, or you could have either also pasted that command. So I want you to add this system log identifier in the documentation. Just copy that. So look for a file that says system log identifier, this file over here, and then comment that out. So once you've commented that out, I want you to add 2 more lines. Copy them from the document. After you've commented out that this is where I want you to paste those 2 commands. So once you've pasted those 2 commands, just below the service is I want you to add the command over here, just to read and write the part of the OpenMRS. So just under the service, you should be able to paste that. So once you're done, I want you to write out the changes. So make sure that this line is just below the service, and make sure you commented out the system log identifier, and you pasted these two commands. So once you're done with that, Control O, Enter X, just clear your terminal. So the next thing and the final thing we are doing on Tomcat is just to force Tomcat 9 to the right directory. So we're going to create a service directory for Tomcat in the system identifiers in Tomcat 9. So I'm going to paste this command. It's quite long, so I'm just going to paste this to save on time. Control V. So this is the command, and just press on enter. Sorry. Once you've done that, so you can just go back to here and do a cd to make sure that this directory is created, and just ll to check. So you're looking for tomcat9.service qrst. So over the file is here, so we are good to go. Just clear that. It's not really necessary that you have to confirm that, but I don't know why I even confirmed it. So the next thing is we're going to create a blank directory inside the path that we created. So inside the path, so cd and then cd to tomcat9. So if you if you list the files, you can see that we have none file. So we're just going to add this file in the directory that we created. So I'm just going to copy this command and then press on enter. So I want you to add some commands again inside there. Allow me to just copy this command, copy and paste. So this is the command that you should add in your file. And then make sure you write out the changes and then exit. So we can now check that Tomcat is still running. Sudo service, not MySQL, my writing MySQL, Tomcat 9 status. So you are going to, because of the changes that we made, so we're going to reload this using the system diamond reload process. So just exit and paste the command that I copied over there. System diamond is just used to reload the services. So that once that is done, you can now scroll up to check the Tomcat 9 status, and you can see now that Tomcat is running without any errors. So just exit and then clear. So up to that point, we are done with installing Java JDK 8 and then Tomcat. So the final thing we're going to do is installing MySQL 5.6.